What do you think of the new intro? I'm a big fan of it. I love it a lot. I mean, I made it. AI made it, but is what it is. Is what it is. Right, let's get going. It's another episode of the Birdie Golf Club Podcast. That's enough of me tapping myself on the back for how well I've done with a intro, which I really had no part in other than adding text description. But that is what it is. It's another week. It's another episode of the Birdie Golf Club Podcast. Thank you so much all for joining. I hope you're enjoying the episodes. And this week, we got a great guest coming on. We got Toby Steggall, TS Fitness. And what's interesting about Toby is that he is not a golfer. We get into that in the podcast itself, but I thought it would be kind of fascinating for us golfers to look outside of the realms of golf and look at somebody with expertise in both fitness and nutrition, the bodybuilding side of things as well, and to see how they view it when a golfer comes to them, which has happened to Toby. He's got 2 clients who are golfers looking to improve their fitness to help their longevity in the sport, and what kind of his viewpoint is as somebody that doesn't golf. He's tried it a couple of times, but he's not an avid golfer like we all are. Where the low-hanging fruit is, where the opportunities are for us to get better at this game that perhaps isn't being looked at right now. I impart a little bit of where I think people are going wrong when it comes to fitness and golf because of what they see on the TV, the very small snippets of the elite of the game. And Toby gives some great advice when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to going to the gym, the environment, how to feel more comfortable, and just really some great tips from somebody that is at the top of their field. So I hope you enjoy that. I thought that would be interesting. I thought we could have found, like we have in the past, a golf fitness expert or somebody involved in that space, but actually having someone outside of it to kind of step away from the whole thing and just go, one sec, maybe we shouldn't just all be throwing medicine balls against the wall and thinking that we're Rory McIlroy. There's a better way to do this. So we get into that with Toby, and I hope you enjoyed the episode with him. I'm not going to talk much about the Masters because it is that week. It is the most wonderful time of the year for us golfers. It really is. But I'm not going to talk about it much. One, because there's probably 100 different golf podcasts that have been released today talking about the Masters and their predictions. And 2, because I've got a little special surprise for you on this week. It's Masters week. You thought it couldn't get any better. Well, guess what? You're going to have a Thursday episode of the Birdie Golf Club Podcast, and we are going to preview the Masters as it starts. No doubt, if you're in the UK, you might be at work. If you're in the US, you wake up in the morning and you're ready to go. And the Masters is finally here. You can smell it in the air. It is just wonderful. We've got sunshine here in the UK. It's like the UK weather knew that we needed to be out in the garden having a beer before turning on the Masters. It's just wonderful. So Thursday episode will be a Masters preview, and I hope you look forward to it. But let's get straight to this week's guest, and that is, of course, Toby Steggall. That's TS Fitness. You can find him on Instagram. Link will be in the description to everything Toby, and also everything Birdie Golf Club Podcast and our partners, where you can get some amazing deals to set you up for the golf season. Let's get to the episode with Toby, and as I bring it into that, you're going to hear how Toby actually made me throw up twice when I did a leg session with him. So cut to that right now. I was doing legs the other week, and I remembered the 2 throw up session that I did with you at Phoenix. Oh mate, traumatized. We'll have to do it again at some point, but I'm not really excited for the prospect. I will be. I'm terrible. I'll throw up. I guarantee it.
Good, mate. I'll still throw it now and again, and I'm doing years. So it's just normal when you push your body to that extreme. It's just like, it's coming up.
Yeah. And you'd saved the machine for me as well, which was a bit much for when I came back to do my third set.
It's very kind, wasn't it? That was a little while ago.
I know. Oh, mate, that was like probably 4 years ago. I'm thinking something like that. Yeah. I'm slowly getting back there and stuff. But I have I have noticed that since I've been working out again, I've definitely picked up like speed on the golf course without even trying. Like,
Mate,
yeah, like
100%.
noticeable.
Yeah, which is a
Yeah,
topic for our podcast, I'm guessing, as well.
it is a bit, mate. It is a bit.
Yeah.
Do you like that little
It's
segue?
about performance and strength. Yeah, I coach two golfers, actually, funny enough.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How that happened.
Hey, so one of them messaged on Instagram. He just wanted to lose weight. He didn't actually think it was going to be to improve golf. He was going to improve his golf. He just wanted to get strong, get in shape, and then build muscle. And he was like, I just can't believe how much my golf's improved. He's pardon, was it the, you have to excuse my golfing talk because I should have really brushed up my knowledge on this.
You're all good, mate. You're all good.
Handicap is 9, so he's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And the other one, he came to me because he wanted to improve his performance. And that's exactly what we've done. And he's lost weight along the way, which is cool. It's good.
Yeah, because I think like there's been this like long-standing thing with golfers where they see somebody that's in shape, and I've been or not necessarily in shape. They see someone who's like clearly muscular, clearly goes to the gym, and they see him step up to a tee box, and I've been guilty of it as well. I remember I was staying at Manning's Heath, and there was a guy who turned up, and he was just absolutely ripped, like, you know, and he wasn't afraid of showing it. He was wearing some pretty tight golf clothing as well, right? But fair play to him. And he turned up, and I was just like, this guy's not going to be able to move well enough to swing that golf club. He striped it down the middle, like it was absolutely fine. He had his own swing, his own way of doing it, but he did it. When those golfers came to you, was that maybe something that they were worried about when it came to gaining muscle and maybe just the pursuit of being stronger? Were they concerned that it might affect their golf?
Absolutely, because you do get them. No, it's not even a myth. It is true, because if you train, you build muscle. Depending how much muscle you build, if you keep it, your mobility will be affected without a doubt.
Sure. Yeah.
And obviously with golf, I am very, very mobile. I've tried a driving range, awful. Like I can't flex my arm up enough. It's just like, so obviously if I worked on my mobility from the start,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got that strength, you'll be able to drive that ball so much further. Which is what these two clients are finding. They're so much further. They're driving that ball. So short games always been good. The long game has always been hard for them.
Okay.
But the stronger they've got, the further they're doing it. So
yeah, because there's always been like this thing in golf of like, you don't need muscle, you just need speed. That's like what they've said always. But the difficulty with that is you could have a really skinny guy who can generate a lot of speed. Like he might not have the most muscular physique, but he can generate speed. But he's not going to be particularly stable when doing that. Is there like specific improvements in your clients, like muscularity, perhaps, that they've noticed a particular area that has like impacted, whether that be legs, arms, chest, core, like back?
I think it's the majority of everything, really. So one of them, he's lost 20 kilos with me.
Wow.
And he's gained a lot of muscle along the way. What's interesting with him, he had to learn how to hit the ball again. Because obviously when he had his stomach was out further, he was at a different position. So now he's lost so much weight, his stomach's in, so he's actually had to learn to hit the ball from closer to him where his arms are, which is, because he's lost so much weight. But he said it's improved. And he's just as mobile, if not more, because we're not just focusing strength alone. You're focusing on mobility, which is absolutely massive if you're want to perform in any sport, really. You don't want to just be so big you can't move and you're immobile. You have to work on the mobility too. But going back to the question, everything is like legs. Definitely, that's like your base, just your foundation. But if everything gets stronger, your body just works as one. because when you're swinging the ball, there's so many muscles involved. So if you're getting everything stronger and progressing strength lifting, then that's going to impact your game massively.
Right. Yeah. And is there, like, when it comes to, like, obviously programming these guys, like workouts and everything, a lot of golfers will do very golf specific work. So they'll, you see a lot of medicine ball work up against a wall, a lot of rotational exercises, things like that. Do you, knowing you like I do in the way you operate in the gym, there's a lot of like heavy compound lifts and then a lot of accessory work like afterwards. Do you prescribe different exercises to these guys that are a bit more golf specific, or do you still focus on those like fundamentals of your belief system in the training?
So for one of them, it's always, because he came to us for physique development, it was just strictly compounds, isolation work, kind of like the bodybuilding style training. That's what he focused on.
Yeah.
Even with that, he's noticed how much it's improved. The other one, Scott, he's more so adding other bits like that in. So for his core, medicine balls, a lot of explosive stuff, just to help with that. But I'd say it's funny though, because not one of them has noticed. They've both noticed the same amount of progression with their game,
right? Okay,
which is interesting. Yeah. Because if you're, like I said, like going back to what I said earlier, if you're getting everything in your body strong, every muscle you're getting strong in your body, and you're keeping mobile, then that's going to affect the game.
Yeah. I've always wondered if like they're missing something slightly, because there's obviously like top end of the game. Those guys. Well, I'm going to say it. Top end of the game. I think there's a few guys that keep themselves in very good shape, but it's still a little bit of unexplored territory. I think you're going to see it with college guys coming through now, where they're like actual athletes that are playing the game. They're, and those guys are like 6'3", 6'4". They could play quarterback if they wanted to. Like, they've got that look to them. But I think there's still that long-standing thing in golf that it has to be golf-specific exercises to really notice a difference, whether people are speed training or whatever it is they're doing. But I prescribe a little bit definitely to what you're saying with the compound lifts, like getting everything on your body, having that load on it is just going to make you far more explosive without even doing that work that you would be doing otherwise, right? Like, it just seems a no-brainer.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What you just said. It is, your whole body works together. So if you're just working on sort of one area, like you said, the medicine balls or wood choppers or something, just focusing on improving it, I personally think you're missing out on a lot of progress that could be made from not getting big like a bodybuilder, but training in a similar way, but a little bit more explosive, where a bodybuilder would be focusing on more control of the weight to stimulate the muscle to grow rather than less. So more so towards like the powerlifting movement. So you dead stop and then powering out a lot of explosiveness when it comes to the lifts. If you program that and then you get strong and just focus on progressively overloading your lifts over time, it can't not affect any game you play, any sport you play. It can't not affect it in a positive way.
Yes. Yeah, I completely. I mean, you can sort of see a lot of people as well doing the same movement over and over again, and that's only going to lead to probably some type of injury as well, right? If they're just specific to something.
Yeah, repetitive strain injury and even muscle imbalances, which aren't going to be good. Because obviously, if you're left-handed, right-handed, if you're swinging a certain way, you're going to be trying to focus on that. So you're going to end up with a lot of muscle imbalances, a lot of repetitive strain injury. Other joints that stabilize, ligaments and tendons that stabilize the joint aren't going to be worked. So all those things are needed for not just the way you look, but long term. Keeping your joints strong, keeping them healthy. There's so much to it when it comes to training. You can't, in my opinion, you shouldn't just even if you are just trying to build muscle, you still need to strengthen your tendons, your ligaments for later on in life. So if you're into sport, even more so.
Did you notice with any of these guys, I don't know if you've done actual workout sessions with them or if you've done some kind of testing beforehand, was there something that was similar in both of them that they excelled at first thing because of being so golf specific? Was there particular exercises that they were like, yeah, I'm really strong in this exercise, and that was like I know it's only a field of 2, so scientifically it's not the best sort of study, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty cool peer study reviews there, wouldn't it? So one of them's a local one. I've trained him a few times, and not particularly was strong in anything. I'll be honest, he was quite weak on everything. But yeah, he was very weak when it comes to.
I'm going to say it's going to be a shock to him if he's listening to this.
But now for him, he's like bench pressing the 32 kilo dumbbells on his own with no spot.
Wow. Yeah.
To go from doing, I think when we first started, he was like doing 12 or 15s. It's like, so he's over doubled his strength. So with that, it was like everything, but nothing's really excelled on them, nothing was like predominantly stronger when they first started. Obviously, everyone has something that's a little bit stronger, just genetically. There will be something you're stronger than everything, just naturally, but not specifically from golf.
Sure.
That I've noticed. There might be sort of like some study on telling you.
Yeah, I should have probably looked it up. You know?
Yeah, I probably should do as well. Confidence blind. It was a balance.
No, I like it. Yeah, oh mate, exactly. I don't do too much. I don't do barely any preparation really, and the listeners are very much aware of it. I've said so many golfers' names wrong, sort of had to issue apologies. You know what I mean? It's just
why they're on here or not.
Oh, I've done that. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Rowan Mia is one of the guests that I had on. Called him Rohan Maya for the entire podcast, which was good. And then bless him, he waited until the very end and then said, "It's Rowan Mia." And I was like, "Yeah, of course it's Rowan Mia. That makes absolute sense." I definitely haven't been saying the air. But I was thinking about the parallels between. There's not many. But I was thinking about the parallels between, you know, let's say bodybuilding and golf. And although there's not an immediate striking parallel, I think one thing that does exist in both, that if people do them, they're aware of, and if people don't, they're not, is the fact that both of them take extreme dedication to be able to get to the best version of yourself in doing.
Yes, 100%. It takes hours and hours and years and years. And like, both the same, like you're saying, you're always going to improve. Mm-hmm. You're not going to stop improving any of them. You know, there's always progress to make. Like, you know, the golfers at the top of the game, you know, they're still improving. They're still tightening things up. And it's exactly the same as any bodybuilding sport. There's still improvements to be made. Which is what I love about it. Any sport, you know, it's that constant trying to progress. You know, and you're never going to
pursuit of excellence, right?
Yeah, exactly that. Just chasing perfection. You're not going to get it, but just just constantly progressing. I think that's what I love about it, and about anyone is like dedicated in some way to some sport, whether it be golf, bodybuilding, or something. It's that dedication, that determination. It's I've got respect for anyone who actually puts so much effort into something like that, because essentially it improves their life, right?
Yeah, and I know as well the parallels will be, and I know this from when I sort of first started properly working out. I've done it since I was a teenager, on and off, but when I was working out with you, like I know that there was that sort of, you were happy for me, but there's that frustration of seeing like a person progress such a huge percentage, like week on week, like in those early stages, right? Which is like great to see, right? And you were always like, mate, that's quality, it's great. And then I know, but secretly you'd be like, man, like I've been grinding on this same like lift for like 4 weeks, and he's going up X amount of percent. It's so similar in golf, right? Because you'll have Like, I know if me and you, which we're going to do at some point, right? Because your kids are kind of getting into the range and things as well, and they're enjoying it. So
Good fun. Mate, I'm terrible at it, but I actually really enjoy it. It is good fun.
It's fastest growing sport in the world, mate. It's the thing. It's happening. But like, we're going to go at some point, and I know if I can get you in certain like positions in the golf swing and to utilize the power that you've got, like, you're going to make such rapid progress from being somebody who, you know, struggles hitting it out of the face of the golf club to suddenly like hitting a lot of shots way better, and that will just happen instantly. And then you'll see a big increase over time, and then you're going to hit that wall. And the same thing happens in both pursuits.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine that. For me, when it comes to the driving range, it'd be nice not to hit the ground. I'm honest with you. Like, okay. It'd be a good start. Like, first time we went, it was with Kim, and I ended up snapping the club. The end of it came off, and I was like, "You heard about it?" Yeah. I was like, "Sorry." So he gave me a different. It was a 9-iron. He gave me instead. He was like, "Take this. It's a bit stronger. You're not going to snap that one."
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, tee it up a little bit, avoid the ground altogether. That'll be absolutely fine. Yeah.
But regardless,
I know, like,
it is super fun. It's a great sport. Frustrating.
I think
it's great.
I think the parallels again is like, it's something that requires your full attention when you're doing it. You know, and that is not only a benefit, obviously physically, like we've been talking about, but one of the things from the podcast that always is brought out is the mental side of a pursuit like this, somewhere where you can go and forget about your phone, forget about the work for the day, forget about maybe troubles with like family troubles, whatever it might be, and you can just focus on one singular activity that requires all of your attention, but equally doesn't require any sort of negative attention at all. And yes. I know that's something you've benefited from in sort of, you know, going to the being gym, being a personal trainer now, like that sort of stuff that you can impart on your customers as well.
Yeah, you know, that is the biggest thing I've noticed from my clients is the change in their mental state it's incredible. Like, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because without trying to sound cliche, there's so many messages like, "You've changed my life," just from doing the basic 5 things that humans need, right? Nutrition, training, movement, sleep, hydration. If you focus on all those things, life just gets better. You know, and that includes, you know, that includes your golf as well. That's a form of activity, form of movement. So if you do that, but then if you nail your nutrition, your sleep, your golf's going to improve. Everything's going to improve in life. What I love about it, but like you say, just that mental side of thing, like, that's one area I absolutely love. It's just, like you said, it's an escape. It's that full attention, like when you're on doing a leg press and you've got, or hack squat and you've got this way, like, you can't think about anything else. You're thinking, I cannot let this go, as it's going to kill me. Like, gravity
is doing its work, right? It's like
you can't think about anything else, and I can imagine it's exactly the same with the golf. Nice in a way, because you're outdoors in nature, you know, and then you getting a lot of steps in, you're walking, but then you're just thinking solely. It's an escape from everything else, all the stress you've got going on in life. So again, there's a lot of similarities to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think it was on that line as well of like nutrition and hydration. I had guys on a couple of weeks back from Hydrocaddy who are making a golf-specific electrolyte supplement, basically. And the idea behind it is mainly they've tried to include the side of things for mental clarity, so avoiding like brain fog on the course and all those things. But equally, because we just, you know, golfers have a terrible habit of, you go to a clubhouse, you pick up a can of Coke, sausage roll, salty sausage roll.
Halfway through, yeah. I know this.
A Snickers.
I've been telling them off.
And then a pint of Guinness to finish. Yeah, pint of Guinness to finish. And don't get me wrong, unbelievable. Like, nothing hits harder than a pint of Guinness after a round of golf. It's unbelievable. But it's not ideal. It's certainly not ideal. When it comes to like nutrition, and obviously you're sort of you're a nutrition expert now, right? That's pretty much you study it very intense.
Oh yeah. I know.
Yeah. Would you say that there is like such easy low hanging fruit that is just being, avoid the pun, that is being missed by everyone, but especially someone imparting on a, you know, I mean, golf courses, you're doing probably about 8K roughly walking, and you're
Yes.
trying to hit shots in between. Is there like some low hanging fruit that maybe the listeners who are golfers or anybody can just pick up on and go, oh, that would just make me feel so much better and avoid burnout?
So one of the main things I would suggest, any sport, but golf as well, is, which you touched on, is hydration. As you're taking a sip now, hydration. We're something like, I think it's like 68% water in total. If you're hydrating yourself properly, you are going to perform so much better. The first thing, when a client says to me, I had a rubbish workout today, like weights were like, the first thing I always ask is, have you drunk enough water? And if they take it, have you had enough? Like, don't have to take it. Electrolytes are brilliant; they are really good. They do help. Right. So, like the magnesium and the potassium, that will help get the water into the cells. But you don't have to have that. You can put like a little bit, as long as you're having sodium in your diet, like a bit of salt, pink salt. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, hydration would be one of them, because most people, maybe around, but especially in the UK, are just so dehydrated. They walk it, they get up, they have a coffee, which is fine, nothing wrong with coffee, but then they drink mineral water throughout the day, and then if you're going on the course and you're having a pint, nothing wrong with a pint, but if you're doing that, you're going to get even more dehydrated. But if you hydrate yourself correctly, the only downside is you're going to need toilet quite a lot.
That's fine. There's bushes.
That's one thing. Will progress your game 100%. And also, when it comes to nutrition, things that digest well, carbohydrates. A lot of people are scared of carbohydrates. Still, this day, I don't understand why. It's like the main source of fuel your body uses. Obviously you got maybe it's the the carnivore being pushed, but carbohydrates is the main source of fuel you use there's a reason why all top athletes consume a lot of carbohydrates, because you're going to be burning through them like anything.
Right.
And they will they'll perform progress your game. Right. So sport in something like a Lucozade Sport, as you're going around, it's full of electrolytes and hydration. Just something similar like that, and it's got a bit of carbohydrates in there to help. But yeah, hydration would be the main one, and then nutrition. Make sure you're fueling your body correctly, getting enough good quality food in. Like just humans in general, you should be in sort of like, I say 80-20, like 80% good whole foods, single ingredient foods. So rule of thumb, if it grows in the ground, swims in the sea, walks on land, comes on a tree, eat it. That's that's the majority of your diet should be. And then let's be honest, we are going to have some processed food. we all like a bit of processed food. Let's be honest. So if you have 20% processed food that comes out of a packet, absolutely fine. The trouble is with society and the golfers I know, when they first started, it was 80% processed food and a little bit of good nutrition.
Yeah.
So that, along with the weight training combined, I believe has had a massive effect on them.
Yeah. And especially if they're carrying on that road, but increasing their level of output. So if they're going to the gym, if they're playing golf more seriously, but they're still not hydrated and doing 80% processed food with a little bit of good food in there, it's just going to be a downward spiral, right? Of you're just not going to be able to maintain any level of performance in anything.
Oh, 100%. Like physical performance, and also just your general mental health. Like people wonder why, like as a society, like we're so screwed up mentally, because it all goes back down to obviously I do get those issues around, not denying there's not mental health issues, but I've had clients come off antidepressants, come off anxiety medication, because they've started doing those 5 basic things I said: the nutrition, the sleep, the hydration, the movement, and training. It's incredible the power that has. just doing those 5 things and making them a habit on a daily basis, consistently doing them. That's the trouble, because most people get into a routine, they do it for a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then obviously fall off, and then the old habits come back in, and then they're constantly just back and forth, yo-yoing up and down, trying to get this habit in place. You're smiling, so
yeah. Toby knows me well. Everyone, that's.
I see it in my clients as well. They start off, the motivation's high. They're like, yeah, let's do this. And then they start to look good, start to feel better. The complacency and old habits start coming back in. So that's my job, to get those old habits out, kick them out, and then make them carry on with the good ones. But like I say, if you do those 5 things, your golf's going to improve massively, without a doubt.
Yes.
And for me, it's not even it might do, it will do.
Yeah. Well, that's easily you can take that away as well. You can literally write that down on a chart. End of the day, did I do these 5 things today? Obviously, the sleep is going to be from the day before, hopefully. Well, unless you're having a nap. Yeah. But can you consistently tick those off? Yeah. That's kind of the process, right?
Absolutely. And like, some people listen to this and they might be thinking, cool, that's a lot of habits to get in place. And it is, to be fair. If all of those habits, if you're not moving really on the golf course, you're going to be moving. Of course you are. But unless if a lot of people, if they're not playing golf, their steps are next to nothing. So if you're not moving on gym wall, and you're not just pick one of those habits and nail that. Once you've got that nailed, even if it's just your hydration, get hydrated first. Now your hydration, make that a habit, so you don't become overwhelmed trying to do them all at once. Because you try and do everything at once, nothing gets done. So just focus on one habit. I suggest, this is what I tell my clients all the time. Focus on one habit. Let's nail that one habit. Then focus with your nutrition. Nail nutrition once your hydration's intake. Okay, now let's do a little bit of training. Let's get a bit stronger. All these sort of things. Just focus one at a time. That's what I'd suggest to someone who, if they're listening to this and they're like, "This is so much to do." Because for me, it seems quite simple because we're kind of in that habit. But for someone who's not, I'd say just pick one of them and just nail that consistently. Yeah,
and it can be like, I have buggies on the golf course, right? That take people around, golf carts, whatever anyone decides to call them. They're awesome. Like, they are so fun, and it makes around 1 quicker. 2, you can probably whack a little speaker in there, have some music. It's great. It's a great social, and there is finding that enjoyment to it as well. But if you're spending pretty much your whole time, every time you're playing golf, avoiding the opportunity to have a decent walk with it, you're kind of missing what the game was kind of all originally about, is enjoying the land, being part of it, walking the course. Like, those things are very important as well, and good. Like, you're just going to feel so much better. It doesn't mean you have to take your shoes off and like start getting one with, start grounding and all sorts. One, the course isn't going to like it unless you're in the Bahamas. Then you can do what you like. But just that, getting your body moving, getting the blood going, like, that's all going to contribute to probably better golf as well at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Like you say, if you're just doing a green and then getting in the buggy and then driving to the next one and then doing no steps, it's like you said, that's the one thing that would attract me to getting into golf, is being outside of nature and moving. Because I know, even just going up the downs here, going for a walk with my dog, I feel great. A daily walk, you feel amazing. But unfortunately, people just don't realise not just the physical, but the mental benefits from it as well. So if you are listening to this and you get in the buggy or the car, then knock on the head. It might be fun. But
it's so fun. It's so fun, mate.
Do half and half. Have a balance.
I'm not going to say too much about it, because in about 6 weeks' time, I'm going on a golf trip, and it's just all buggies all weekend with cocktails like in the buggies. Like again, 80-20, right? If we can do 80% walking, 20%.
Have a little bit of fun.
Okay.
Got to have a balance.
How about? And I know a lot of people will be aware of this supplement, but maybe missing the positive effects it can have, and also I'd love to hear your opinion more on it as well. How about when it comes to like creatine? What's your view in general, and obviously the benefits it could have, especially for golfers, obviously with this being a golf podcast?
Creatine is one of the best supplements that everyone should take. The studies and the data done on it it's insane. There's not just so creatine works on your ATP energy system and gives you more strength, more power, more endurance. So that alone is going to help you with golf, right? Stronger, more powerful. You're going to be stronger, more powerful for longer as well. But also the neurological side effects it has now. The studies it's done on that is mad. It used to be 5 grams a day. Now they've increased it to 10 grams a day because that has better.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, that's got better. The studies suggest that is for brain function. It's incredible. And there's actually studies now to show how it can delay Alzheimer's and dementia. It's a supplement everyone should take, and it's really cheap. Like it's not expensive at all. But everyone should be taking creatine just for physical and mental health.
That's amazing. I mean, the fact that with the Alzheimer's as well, obviously, golf being a longevity sport, right? You can play golf until beyond the point of when you can't walk anymore. You can literally just keep playing it until you can't swing a club, basically. But one of the big things that, one of the horrible diseases that takes someone's ability away to interact, to be able to remember how to do things is obviously Alzheimer's is one of the big ones. So anything that can suppress Alzheimer's ability to rob you of joy later in life, that is so cheap, like creatine as well. It's interesting, the 10 grams a day thing as well, because there's a lot on loading and all that kind of stuff.
That loading, to me, I believe it's just a marketing scam. Obviously, you're going to load up, you're going to buy more. So, don't load, just 10 grams a day, every day. And you don't have to cycle on and off it. It's just, you can stay for life. And what's interesting is there's no negative side effects from it. The only one it could be, it can cause a little bit of stomach distress, which means you just split that dose into 2. So you do 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening or something. So some people will notice that. But creatine is a fantastic supplement. Everyone on the planet should be having creatine, in my opinion. It just gets people just think it's a bodybuilding thing, but it's actually not. There's so.
I think it's just the marketing that was done, though, right? Because that's kind of what it was always. That was the one that always was like that. The bodybuilding supplement is going to make you bigger, fuller. It's water retention. It's all this, and those things do happen with it as well. But one of the things I would say, if someone is taking creatine for the first time and listening, the hydration is key with it as well, right? Because I know if I've not stayed hydrated enough and I've taken creatine, it can have side effects of a bit of a headache, things like that as well. So always important, like you said, that hydration has to be fundamental.
Hydration is one of the things that we should be doing just in general. One of the most important things for sport and just for health, keeping hydrated.
Yeah. And I know earlier we spoke about the flexibility side of things, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean we're all having to join yoga classes? Right? Are we going to have to do hot yoga on Tuesdays?
Only if it's hot yoga,
Okay.
No, it does not mean that.
Okay, that's good.
Don't worry. All these golfers sign up for hot yoga later. No, you don't have to do hot yoga.
Perfect.
But just form some form of static stretching. Mobility work. Always do it after your workout as well, because if you do it before workout, it can negatively impact your strength, which a lot of people don't realise. People stretch before workout, but actually negatively impact. So always do your stretching after. Things like just little things, even things like dead hangs. That amazing for shoulder mobility. Hang there for as long as you can, and then just repeat that for 3 sets. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just if you are training, you will. From experience, your mobility will struggle if you don't do some form of it.
Okay, so just simple little things, dead hangs. What else could they do that would perhaps free up? I'm thinking with golf, one of the things you probably really struggle with is probably lat mobility. I'm guessing would be like a big issue with golfers. What's some sort of things they can do? I suppose dead hang would help with that.
Dead hang would be literally perfect for that. Because I've actually just started doing it to get a bit more mobile, and it's where you just feel the whole spine, the whole lats, your shoulders, everything just stretches off nicely. But there's so many things you can, even if you just type in YouTube, like mobility workout. There's going to be loads that come up. There's so many different exercises you can do for it. It doesn't take long. You haven't got to spend hours doing it a day. It's a lot of people think, but just enough just to keep you from locking up and being immobile and not be able to move. If you are weight training,
absolutely. And I know, I know the answer to this question, but I know there's going to be people listening. When they maybe go to the gym and they take this thing of like, okay, I'm gonna work out these compound movements and everything, they might look at it and go, do I need to go to the weight section? Do I need to go to the free weight section? Do I need to go to the sort of cable pull section? What does it really matter?
It's a really good question, actually. So first, I would say if you're a complete beginner and you've never stepped foot in the gym before, I'd say go onto the machines. First, we'll start on the machines. Get your body used to it. Get your muscles. Then once then you can start venturing onto like the free weight stuff. Because you see some people, they go on the free weight and they're all over the place because they haven't got any stability muscles. You have to work on your stability. I always recommend some form of free weights in a workout plan, because that's your stability muscles. If you don't use them, you will lose them. A lot of bodybuilders will stick to machines quite a lot because it isolates the muscle. But if you're missing like the free weight stuff, like even things like chin ups, barbell bench press, dumbbell bench press, shoulder press with dumbbells. If you're not doing that, then those stability muscles they're not going to be worked, and then you're likely going to get injured. So those things are crucial. So I'd say do what you enjoy, but definitely have some form of stability, like free weights in there to stabilize that. It helps you with core as well, which is going to help.
Yeah, I think like you said, that point of the fact that the machines are going to put you in the right position as well, right? There's literally there's diagrams on every machine for people to see what it does and everything like that, which is helpful. But it's gonna kind of help with injury prevention and all those things. And then you can also kind of creep a little bit and sort of watch what other people are doing with the free weights. And you want to pay attention to the guy who looks like he knows what he's doing as well. Don't pay attention to everyone when it comes to free weights. You're going to see some disasters.
I see it in the gym all the time. I even see it for my clients. I'm like, wait, slow it down.
And it's also remembering your body type as well, right? I remember I was working out with a guy who had I'm short arms like a T-Rex, so I think everything kind of looks, well, at least to me in a mirror, looks kind of how it should look, like my body kind of moves in a way where I'm like, I feel like that's about right, because I haven't got my levers are very small. But you go and I worked out with a guy who had really long arms, and I was like, dumbbell bench press, I don't know if you're doing it right. Like that looks totally different to everything I do, because it's just, so it's also recognizing your own body composition as well, right? It's not everyone's going to look the
100%.
same.
That is, to be fair, that's why a lot of free weight stuff is quite good. Because a machine will keep you locked in a position. For some people, everyone's biomechanics is different for certain. So some machines I use, I'm like, this is awful, I don't feel it. Other people love that machine because it feels right for them. So again, there's some machines are going to be better for you for your biomechanics than others. But once you've used a few machines, you'll know what feels good and what doesn't. And then obviously when you start moving on to sort of like the free weight area, you should feel quite similar to machine, but you'll be more stabilized rather than going different with it.
And like a lot of people will go and do the compound lifts, they do their bench press or whatever it might be. They might do some legs, things like that. Sort of when you are dealing with your golf clients specifically, is there some smaller muscle groups that just kind of get ignored, but would be like easy wins for people to focus on when they're working out?
Good question, really. Depends on the goal. If the goal is just to improve the golf and not to improve aesthetics, you don't really care about aesthetics and what you look like or building muscle. You literally want to get strong, improve your golf. I think most people do want to look, Well, look right on that golf course wearing that tight top.
If I'm going to the gym and 4 weeks later I don't look unbelievable, then you failed me, Toby. All right, okay, that's.
So in that case, if that's the view, then yeah, absolutely. You don't just want to focus on the compound lifts. You do want to focus on like the isolation work as well. For instance, so if a compound is essentially a lift which will include multiple muscle groups to lift, like a bench press includes your shoulders, your triceps, your chest. That's a compound lift. Where it comes to an isolation lift, like a pec fly, would just be your chest. A rear delt, well, that generally goes missed for people. I think rear delt, what's that?
Yeah, they don't even realise the machine goes there.
Yeah, they don't know what it is, and so little things like that. Again, it all improves the physique in general, not just the way it looks, but the way it moves. And muscle imbalances, because you get people who just do chest all the time, their shoulders roll forward because their chest is growing, but they haven't done their rear delts or their traps, or their wrong body, so their posture starts to keep over. So so there's a lot of things. I think it's generally lads in it. It's like, let's do chest. Come on, chest day. Yeah, international chest day, and
most fun.
They miss and then they miss legs and other little bits. Chest and arms generally. Definitely you need to focus on the whole body.
Yeah. I was going to say, actually, because I suppose, do you have any questions for me when it comes to like the golf and what we're kind of looking for? I'll do best to. I wondered if you had any questions like that, like for golf specific sort of stuff. You don't have to. So none for me.
So in general, like what from the obviously you're involved with the golf industry. What's the sort of general training you see people in the golf industry do when it comes
very
to
specific?
Very specific, yeah.
But I think that's because what generally golfers see is PGA Tour coverage, right? So they'll see Rory McIlroy in the morning before he goes out and plays actually doing activation movements, right? That's what he's doing. He's not building muscle the morning he goes out to play golf, right? That would be nuts.
Yeah.
But I think that's what people think he's doing. Okay. So they'll see him with a medicine ball, throwing it against the wall, right? And they'll see him with a cable pull machine, doing very sort of like slow movements and then build into more explosive movements before he leaves. They'll see him on one of those upside down what are they called? Kind of like a what's the name ball, like a yoga ball, like the big the things. They'll see him on one of those doing like balancing movements where he's activating like his abductors and everything like that, and they'll just think I need to train like that. Like that's what I'm missing. And you'll see like a guy with zero sort of like muscularity, like Rory's like a pretty I use Rory as an example because he's a pretty in shape guy.
Yeah, he's good shape. Yeah, absolutely.
Compared to the majority, because also he's my height. He's like 5'9", and he's the longest driver of the golf ball, and probably the best driver of the golf ball ever, like to exist. Basically, unbelievable. Swings it at like 190, like mile an hour. Like the ball speed is off the charts, like 190. So, I think that's one of the common issues in the golf industry is that what the top of the game are doing is behind closed doors, especially in their off season.
Yes, yeah,
and that's kind of what's getting missed.
Yeah, because he's in great shape. There's no doubt he is training. He is weight training. He is doing compound lifts without a doubt, 100%. You can tell by looking at the physique. He's not just doing those activation movements. But I can see what you mean. That people are going to look at that and think, "That's what I need to do. That's why I'm not as good as him." So then they just start solely focusing on that, and they're missing. That's just like the 5%. They're missing the 95% of why he's obviously genetics aside, but what's going to improve your golf is just getting strong everywhere. Strong and mobile. If you get strong and mobile, you're going to improve your game massively.
Yeah.
So,
I think
so
that's,
those
I think that
activations
is
you
probably
definitely
the
do
best
them,
goal.
but get strong as well, build muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think then what happens is you get guys the morning before they go and play golf will go and hit the gym and go and do bench press. They'll go and do this. They're going to do that. They're going to do legs, everything, and then they wonder why they're flagging by like hole 10. It's like, yeah, well,
the worst thing you can do is have a gym session before a game of golf if you want to improve your golf, because that's going to cause so much fatigue. Fatigue is you know, you might not think golf's going to be fatiguing, but you know, it takes a lot of mental fatigue and, you know, and physical. You're doing so much steps. You know, so to do a session before, you don't want to be doing that. Absolutely not.
But I think that's honestly that's for me like the biggest mystery around like guys that just don't really know what to do to get that much. But I mean, they're looking at the top end of the game, and not only that, they're watching the top end of the game on their best day. Normally, if they're playing well, they'll be on the telly. If they're not, you won't see them all day. Like
Right, that makes
that's
sense.
the disparity.
Yeah,
but when like you said, Justin Rose is one, right? Justin Rose is 45, and he now literally goes round with a RV, like inbuilt with sauna, massage table, ice bath, red light therapy, like all of these things ready to go. So in the morning, he goes in there for like an hour and a half and does all his things, and then in the evening goes back in and does it.
Yeah.
And that's to like extend. He's got just all recovery. But again, I think people just sort of miss that and think that's just due to his age.
Okay, yeah, no, those things are brilliant for recovery. Like the studies are done on them, yeah, excellent. Like you can't, but then again, you probably, I don't know if I'm talking right, but I'm thinking that's probably what a lot of people see him doing. I think, right, okay, that's what I need to do now. And again, they're missing the basic fundamentals. You know, they're looking at the icing on the cake, not the cake itself.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like not sustainable for a lot of us, right? We don't have those facilities either.
But no.
I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I'd like to try it out for sure.
I think that's the trouble with a lot of like people at the top of the game, right? Like you said, Roy McIlroy for bodybuilding, Seaman. People think if I copy what they do, I'm going to be as good as them. But what they're forgetting is, I don't care what people say, talent and genetics. That is why they are there, right? Yeah. Doesn't mean you can't improve. Doesn't mean you can't. But I know no matter what I do, I'm not going to look like Seaman. You know, because you're genetic. No matter what you do, you're not going to be able to play like Roy McIlroy. You know. But I think people are a bit. I think it's maybe the generation, but a bit deluded. Like, people can say, well, why can't I look like that? I'm like, because it's genetics. Like, yes, everyone like all golfers would want to play like that, but your genetics will determine how far you can go. But you can still progress.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I had a guy on the podcast, Martin Maritz, right, and he played professional golf on the European Tour, which is now the DP World Tour. He played that, and that's like top end of the game in Europe. Basically, it's just below PGA Tour level, and he was on that tour for 12 years. He never won an event, but he had a pretty successful career on the European Tour, and you know, and now he's not playing anymore, and that's basically it. But he was like the 0.0, you know, whatever percent of golfers with the talent level. But then you're seeing the 0.00001% on your screens every single weekend.
Yeah,
and it's like actually. Yeah, you should probably look at Martin. Like Martin's slightly closer to you, but he's still way better than you'll ever be. Like that's like it's that thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nuts. There's levels to it all. Like in any sport, you got people who are good, you got people who are incredible, then you got the elite. Which that's when they've got everything, genetics, and they work hard. Yeah.
But then you got your Tiger Woods as well. He's like a generational, like unbelievable talent. I don't know if you've seen the news. This will come out a few weeks afterwards. I'm sure there's more, but unfortunately, arrested, car accident, wouldn't do a urine test and all those things as well. But when you look at, I'm not sure how aware you are of all the injuries that Tiger's had throughout his career, and he's had multiple back surgeries, ankle fusions, back fusions, all these things. And I think this is most likely due to pain medication. Again, not 100%. When you look at that, if you say he rang you up tomorrow and he said, Toby, I want you to be my PT. I heard you on the Birdie Golf Club podcast, because no doubt he's listening. And he's like, I really liked, I loved your 5 fundamentals. That's what I want to do now. Looking at his body, he still wants to play at the top level.
Yeah.
Right. He's still, and that's just his mindset. But would you just look at that and just say, I think it's done. Like, for quality of life, maybe. Let's look at it more from the quality of life standpoint for the future.
I mean, if he's prone to getting injuries now, like
he ruptured his ACL, getting back after a back surgery.
Generally, any sport, if you do something like that, it is career ending. Unfortunately, doesn't mean he can't improve from where he is at the moment. But things like that, I'd say I kind of look, and this would be above my pay grade, but it would be like, okay, what has caused these injuries? Because there's going to be something that's caused it, whether it's an imbalance somewhere, or weakness of the joints, or whatever it might be, ligaments, tendons. What's caused these to go? Could it be some inflammation? So inflammation is terrible. Obviously, he's going to. I'm guessing that someone like that would be getting regular blood work done to make sure everything's all right inside. Yeah. But you just don't know. So someone like that would need something more than I could give them from a some really in depth to see. Okay, what are these injuries? What's caused them? Yeah. And is there any way you can sort of carry on without causing any further damage?
It's so difficult with Tiger, right? Because he had a golf club in his hand since he was like 2 years old. And the nation watching him from that age as well. Like, literally, there's footage of him on when he was like 3 on Golf Channel with his dad, like hitting golf balls. And then, but he did have flare-ups of back injuries all the time from early 2000s. And then eventually had a big crash where he ended up basically shattering his whole leg. So, I mean, coming back from that after back fusion surgery, multiple surgeries on his back, then his leg. It's just. I think for the unbelievable.
That's an incredible mind. You got to respect that mindset. That no quit mentality.
He won a major championship after that. It's just.
That is incredible.
Unbelievable.
The trouble is, when something's so ingrained in you, it's always your whole identity. Since 2 years old, golf is so. For him, I can only imagine how awful that must be. That that's kind of like slipped away now. He can't do what he's done ever since he can remember. For 2 years old, I can't remember what I was doing 2 years old. You know what I mean? So for that, you got to feel for the break for that to be just something you love doing being taken away like that.
And it's like an epidemic that over here is a little bit less so at the moment, but certainly in America, of pain medication, and obviously the ease of getting hold of that and everything as well. And that can just be a downward spiral. I hope it doesn't happen over here as easily and readily as what it's happening in America. But
some of the worst blood work I've seen, right? And I see a lot of blood work on a weekly basis. So the worst I've seen it is from people on high pain medication.
Right.
Liver skewed, kidney skewed, just very, very bad. A lot of inflammation. It's just obviously it's there for a reason, pain meds, but it definitely shouldn't be something to be relied on like that, because it will absolutely ruin your blood work, your health markers.
It's such a shame when you see people just, and especially someone like that, someone that everyone sort of looks up to in the golf industry as this sort of like beacon of the perfect golfer. Like that's the best we've had. Yeah. And just to see him now having to deal with his day to day through pain medication and everything, it's just a horrible situation, you know. But no, yeah, sorry, I sort of sprung that one on you really about the Tiger thing.
No, to be fair, I didn't actually. I knew he was an incredible golfer, but that is my golfing knowledge. That's when you asked me to come to golf. I was like, I should really brush up my knowledge in this, but I haven't.
No, to be honest, mate, like
I know Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, no, I wanted to. I'll probably explain this pre episode in like the intro and everything, but I think it was a really interesting concept for me because I've had golf fitness people on the podcast, but they'll have their, and it was brilliant, but they'll have their entrenched sort of like beliefs based off of their experience on the golf course and their experience of fitness, and it is kind of like industry general on that front. There's deviations, like slight deviations in the way that different people do it, different coaches do it, everything like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But for me, having you on was like, okay, I know Toby's like a nutrition expert, but also bodybuilding expert, and also sort of like health sort of expert, essentially as a coach. And I know that he has golfers on his roster, like that came to him and wanted to do it. So I think it would be just really interesting to hear from you, and for the listeners to hear from you, maybe just something a bit different rather than go and throw medicine balls against a wall and swing a weighted club as hard as you can, and that's how you're going to get better at this game. You know, it's just
for me, like golf, any sport, get strong, get mobile, and he is going to improve. Basic simple lifts and get stronger and progressively overload each week to try and progress what you've previously done for the week before. And it can't, like I said, it can't not improve again.
Yeah, which is what we're all desperately trying. I'm gonna get you into golf somehow. One, because what? One, because then I'll make you wear something that's 2 sizes too small, and it'll be funny for me. Like I'll enjoy it. That's one thing. Like
a lot of videos going around. Yeah, I can imagine that.
But 2, I know you do a lot of walking, and incorporating golf kind of into that would be kind of a no-brainer. Like that's an easy.
Oh, mate, yeah. Like as my client said, it's organic steps for him. You know, like because it doesn't even feel like steps. It's just enjoyable being out on the course.
Yeah. To explain to this, like Toby's like what 6? What he's 6'5",
6'5", just under. Yeah.
Okay, 6'5". It's all way above where I am, right? And I just think it would be amazing if we just learned that he has an unbelievable touch and short game. You know, because it would just be the last thing that people will be expecting.
The last thing I'd expect to be good at golf as well, from what I've seen for myself in the past as well.
Oh, I love it, mate. I love it. I'll in the link for the episode there will be how you can get in touch with Toby if you've got any sort of fitness questions, if you're looking for a personal trainer, everything like that. TS Fitness, everything will be in the podcast description as well. Anything you want to specifically talk about, Toby?
I'm always giving out free information. Like it's not like people message me and I try and sign them up as a client. So if anyone doesn't want to, I don't know. Since I started, I didn't want to be one of those coaches who just like only gives information to those who pay. You know, and that's why my pay. Yeah. For me, I wanted someone to come to my Instagram page and be able to basically, with the knowledge I've put on there, be able to get into shape without paying a penny. Because there's so much knowledge on my page, you know, and just from people asking me, like people have asked me stuff and they said, oh, I've implemented it, it's worked, thanks. You know, but for me, I love that because not everyone can afford a coach. So if people have questions about their nutrition, then always feel free to ping it across, and more than happy to answer some.
Absolutely. And Toby practices what he preaches, so that's my first-hand experience. So don't think it's just, you know, do as I say, not as I do. It is very much, you know, he does it as well. And one thing he really enjoys is if you do message him or if you reach out, make sure you say but I don't want to get too big too quick. That's one thing that's one of his favourite lines.
I have that from clients. They grow too much muscle, and it's like really fast. I'm like, what are you going to do? Your golf's going to be ruined now. Point to bodybuilders on the wall and just say, but the thing is, I don't really want to look like that. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. My favourite, that.
Thank you so much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it.
Everybody.
Cheers, mate.